Good morning. It is Thursday, maybe February 22nd, 2024. I'm Eddie Buffalo. It's another edition of Insurance Questions Podcast. And we are broadcasting live from beautiful McKinney Square. And it's going to be about 77 degrees today. So I'm super excited about it. I have a guest today. I have a gentleman by the name of Donald LaFaso, but I didn't think that was your real name.
Why not?
Don't you go by something else?
Only you call me something
Ah,
else.
yeah, just so everybody knows, this is Donnie Lowe, not Donnie LaFaso. A friend of mine back from Buffalo. I'm trying out some new software and some hardware, so I wanted to see how it went, and so he's going to be my guinea pig today. Thank you,
Thank you
Don.
for that opportunity.
So, like we talked beforehand, I'm not gonna, you don't know what I'm gonna ask you, so it's gonna be all off the cuff.
Right.
My first question is, what do you do?
Well, I'm in the same realm that you're in.
You're
And
a
what I do is
podcaster?
not that realm.
Who
But
knew I would be?
I try to help people protect their lives, their family, and create legacy for them and their families.
Let me ask you this, Don. Why did you get into this business?
That's a great question, Ed. I throughout my entire working career, I always find myself trying to assist people in one way, shape, or form. And this is, for me, just a great opportunity to help people to carry on their legacy, to help them build for their family's future. And I've seen too many instances where, somebody unexpectedly passes away and you see a GoFundMe page on the internet.
We just talked about that a couple days ago. It's
Uh,
100% true.
Yeah, and so just trying to help people plan and prepare for the inevitable, but sometimes unexpected issues that happen in life.
I mean, a lot of us are very quirky in this business where we find a product that we like and that's what we present. What do you like selling and why?
Well, my approach really at it, as I'm sure you know this, is I don't go into a meeting with a client, a couple, a family, a business owner, with something predetermined in my head on what I want to present to them. I like to ask some questions, see what's important to them, see, what their long-term goals are, short-term goals are, and then I craft something that will meet their goals and their needs for the immediate future and the long term.
What does your family think about your career choice?
That's a great question. They were at first a little skeptical about what I was going to be doing because this is a business where, you're kind of out there on your own every day, although there's a great support network behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were a little concerned about that, but they know how I'm wired, so to speak, to help people. So they think it's a great thing that I'm doing to help people. And especially when I share a story, one particular client, luckily they met with me and they were taken care of. So they like to hear those good stories.
Do you own any designations?
Currently, I do not, but I am working on being a chartered special needs consultant to help
That's
families with
wonderful.
special needs children specifically.
I know we both did a little bit of research on that, and it's amazing to me that there is 155 million kids and adults with special needs in this country. And believe it or not, there is only 700 people that specialize that in the country. So that's like 55,000 people per agent, which just blows my mind. But
Yeah,
what really blows my mind more is that a lot of people with kids with special needs, they don't know what's available to them.
that's right.
And when we're selling something like that, we're not doing it to make money. We're doing it to perform a service. And I know I can say that a lot of the parents end up being my clients. So we're there for you to take care of your kids, and then there to take care of you too, you know.
That's so true. And I think other than the actual physical service that's being provided, it's kind of guiding the parents of a special needs child, um, what they should do now to plan for the future of their children. Because once a special needs child turns 18, at least in New York State, the parents really lose their rights to make medical decisions, life decisions for their children, unless you go through the court system to become a legal guardian of your own child. And that's very traumatic for a lot of parents to have to go through that process. You mean it's like,
I mean, unfortunately, both of us have gone through it,
yes,
not with special needs children, but children with other medical problems. And what's crazy, once they turn 18, doctor's not going to talk to us. Nurse isn't going to talk to us. I mean, my ex is a nurse and they don't care. They're
yeah,
because once you're 18, you're an adult, which
that's
is kind of crazy.
yeah, chronologically you're an adult, but mentally you might not be.
Hmm.
And that's the frustrating part for a parent. So,
Now, let me ask you this, Don. If somebody was trying to get a hold of you and wanted to take part in your services, how would they contact you, Don?
well, the best way is by phone, my cell phone. I always have it with me, of
And what
course.
is that? What is your cell phone?
716-310-7993.
Oh, you live in Buffalo then?
716-310-7993. Yes, I do.
You live in the city of Buffalo.
Just outside the city. I grew
Well,
up
where
in
do
the
you
city.
live? Where do you live?
I'm in the Clarence suburb of Buffalo.
Oh, is it true that people that live in Clarence and Williamsville, their hobbies are polishing the gold bars that cover the roads? Is that true?
Yeah, that's the big urban myth or suburban myth.
So do you use Barkeeper's Friend or something different? Because, a lot of our listeners are going to want to know how you guys do that.
Yeah, I'm the person that's going around trying to pick up the little bits of gold dust that they might shine after they shine up their gold bars.
Yep, very good. Now, I also know you're a tennis player and you're a pickleball player. What do you prefer?
Well, I'm not a pickleball player.
I thought you were.
No, I played just once or twice with my daughter, but I do enjoy playing tennis.
Gosh, if my mother had a chance to have one of those pickleball paddles when I was a kid, whew,
It wouldn't be outside playing pickleball.
no, no. It used to crack me up because she'd, give me a spanking on the with the wooden spoons, and I'd always break them, and then I'd
Yeah, that
laugh and
also
give you
happened in
more.
school,
She
in
always
grammar
threatened me with
school.
like, remember in the 70s, they had those big wooden spoons and forks on the walls that our parents had. I'm like, no. It's funny because it makes me laugh because I have the antique warehouse, antique mall across the street from
Mm.
my office here in McKinney Square, and they have those on the wall.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, no, no, no.
That's why you don't go in there too often anymore. Too many bad memories.
Now I know recently you left Williamsville to move to Florida and now Florida back to Buffalo.
Mhm.
Business wise, did you see any big difference with your clientele between Buffalo and Florida?
Uh, not too much difference. I mean, we all have basic needs, and we all have, the idea of protecting our families or protecting our business. So that's kind of universal, I would say. So in that respect, no. The only difference would be when we talk about some of the services that we provide and we talk about income tax reduction or elimination. Um, in Florida, there's no state income tax. So, that part of the conversation wasn't as important, although federal taxes are, obviously. But the state tax, because there's no state tax in Florida, it was like, what? You got
I
to pay
know, right?
taxes on your
Yeah.
income. Where obviously in New York, taxes are, amongst the highest in the country.
Now, when you're working in Florida, what was pretty much the age group that you would work with the majority of the time?
Well, it's interesting because in Florida, you tend to work with people that you associate with or hang around with, and so I met a lot of people playing tennis, And, a lot of the people were either retired or approaching retirement age, or maybe in that 40 to 55 age group. But then I was able to at least talk with like their children or grandchildren in
That's
some
good.
cases.
Now, when you were in Florida, were a lot of the folks buying insurance for their grandchildren as a present or anything like that? Because I know that's what I try to do, and I know that's what I've done for my grandchildren.
Right.
Was that prevalent down in Florida or not so
Uh,
much?
I, I I would think it's about the same as it is in New York. Again, it's that some things in life are just universal. It doesn't matter where your domicile is.
Yeah.
So people have the same type of mentality of taking their children and care of their
Well,
children and grandchildren.
I don't know about you, but what turned myself away thinking like that was we both worked with a gentleman by the name of Michael Salio,
Hmm.
and he's got a ton of kids, a ton of grandkids.
Yes, he does.
And he goes, every birthday when the kids are born, I buy him insurance. I'm like, really? That don't make any sense. And he's like, well, it makes sense. If I buy him a toy, it's going to go in the garbage eventually. If I buy the insurance, they're going to have it forever.
Mhm.
And what a lot of people don't realize that life insurance is predicated on the age you are when you have it, when you
Right.
buy it. So most children, they can start getting, you could insure your child or grandchildren at 15 days old, because that's usually how many days it takes to get a social security card. And what's cool about it is, I mean, you're very limited. Most of the plans, you could only get $50,000. And what's nice though, if this kid holds on to this thing until there's like in their 60s, 50s, whatever, all these years they're making dividends on it. They're pretty much being their own bank. They can take that money whenever they want to, but they're still paying the premium of when they were born. That just blows my mind, you
No,
know?
exactly. And remember too, because of the type of insurance that it is, you can have it set up, the policy set up so that when they're 18 or 20, the policy could be paid for
Yeah,
and it
100%.
could still grow with dividends, not to be
Because
too technical.
I know you were talking about special needs children, and the one product that we were talking about, I don't know how much you went into it. I went into it pretty heavy. And did you know that on the special needs policy, as long as they're not on a vent or a feeding tube, they're gonna get the insurance. And
Yes,
the thing is, the parents are only allowed to pay on it for 15 years, and it's
that's right.
considered paid up. But what's really cool about it, it's still going to continue to make the dividends on it. Right now, I mean, you don't like saying the I word when you're talking about life insurance. So I kind of like to think of it as a forced savings account. You keep
Exactly.
living, you keep on making money on the money you already have in there.
That's right. That's right. And it's important too, because when you talk with people that have a newborn baby, if you talk about life insurance, they're thinking, oh no, my baby's life is just starting. We're not near the end of that.
Well,
But
it's
it's
funny.
not that.
And I said a couple episodes ago, I have a friend that she's like, oh, that's kind of gross. I wouldn't want to get insurance on my kids. I'm not gonna profit on my kids' death. I'm like, it's not for that. God forbid they die, you will have the money to bury them. But if they don't die and you keep on holding on to this forever, like I said, I mean, even my own kids, I had money not to pay for college, but to pay for extras that they could
Mhm.
touch whenever they want to.
That's
And
right.
people, don't look at it this way. And I try to educate people. And then she kind of turned around a little bit when I told her that. And because she never thought of it that way, she just thought it was yucky, that you were going to benefit on your children dying, you know?
Right.
And it's funny with children's policies, it's very limited of what you can get because they don't want you killing your kids, pretty much. Nobody wants to say that, but I just did because
Well,
it's
so
the God's honest truth.
here's the thing with the child policy is that at least one of the parents has to have life insurance on themselves before it can be issued to their child. And depending on the age of the child, it's, either 3 times or 5 times the amount of
I'm
insurance.
glad you brought that up because say if me as a grandfather, I want to get insurance for my grandchild and the parents don't have it, they ain't getting it.
That's right. The,
And that's
the
something
parent
people
has
don't
to have
understand.
it. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to think it's yucky, that's one way of thinking of it. But to me, it's a forced savings account that you are going to have, you know.
Let me share a quick story if I
Yeah.
can, just about that. Just yesterday in a conversation with somebody, and he's a physician, and he's got 2 children that are in medical school right now. And they did get some scholarships. And he said, it's so darn expensive to put a child through school. But when both of his grandchildren or his children were born, their grandparents got them whole life insurance policies. And that's how they're paying for their medical school.
Oh my God, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember my Aunt Helen having Gerber policies on all their kids that she kept until she died. You know
Mm,
what I mean? And then just gave it to the boys. That's just incredible to me. And there's a
yes.
lot of others. I'm not, giving a commercial for Gerber. There's a lot of good products out there, but that's that's what was available back then.
Yeah. Exactly.
For crying out
Exactly.
loud, I remember sitting at 14 years old, my mom and dad, well, my dad worked at the Ford stamping plant and they must have had some deal with I don't remember if it was Allstate or Prudential, but in New York State, if you're 14 years old, you're signing that contract. And back in the day, there was no computers. So and sitting there at 14 years old signing my thing. It just, it's funny that you remember things, and that's one thing that I do like to talk to different insurance agents about. And I don't even know if you've thought of it this way, but we sell insurance all the time, annuities. We meet a lot of different people, but that customer don't talk to us guys all the time.
Mhm.
So I go out of my way to do whatever I can for that person because I don't want it to be a bad experience.
Right.
Because if it is a bad experience, they're going to remember that the rest of their life. Oh, that guy Eddie Buffalo, he was awful. Guy Donny Lowe, oh my gosh, he was just got out. Don't ever use that guy. And here's the thing: if you do a good job in our business, you're going to get paid no matter what.
That's right.
So why wouldn't you want to create relationships and not just be in it to make the money? I mean, how many death benefits have you actually delivered, Donnie, in your career? A bunch.
Well, how much dollar wise?
No, I'm just saying you've done it and you've seen what that piece of paper we're giving this person does for them. It's not going to bring the person back, but it's going to make their life a little bit easier when they're grieving.
Yeah, exactly. I've because I was kind of a late bloomer in this industry, so I'd say over the past 5 years or so, probably about five, I believe it is, where you talk with the family, you're able to deliver a check within
Oh my
two
gosh, yes.
weeks, and it's just a relief. And you have to remember too, when somebody's in that situation, sometimes that's all they have.
Oh my gosh,
And
yes.
and thank goodness they have that,
Mm-hmm. Because
you
then they
know.
don't have to go to GoFundMe. I hate to trash
Exactly.
GoFundMe, and I'm not really trashing it, but it's sad that when you see the GoFundMe, that clicks right with me that they had no insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope I'm
And that's
wrong,
what
but it doesn't seem to be.
and that's when I meet with people, sometimes people will call me because maybe I met them one time somewhere at
Mhm.
an event or whatever, and they just happen to remember, and they'll call me, you know what? I had a friend, there's a GoFundMe page. We have to sit down and talk. I don't want to have my family go through that, God forbid.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, Donnie, but do you have your cell phone with you?
I do.
Okay. So 3 weeks ago, we relaunched our website. Let me find it here. What I want you to do, Donnie, is I want you to pull it up on your phone and I want you to give me a review right now in real time. See what you think of
Okay,
it, especially us being in the same industry.
that's right.
See,
Let
my
me
friend Robin did this for me yesterday because she thought my handwriting was trash. Oh, she
all
does have
right.
nice handwriting, doesn't she?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
much nicer.
better than me. Ah, yeah, you're on Robin's side. Fine, Donnie, you know what? Here. There we go. Oh, it was Robbins. No, it wasn't. Right here.
EBI. What was that again?
It's
EBI.
www.ebiagency.com. And if you're wondering, the EBI stands for Eddie Buffalo Insurance and Eddie Bednar's Insurance. Thank goodness Buffalo and Bednar start with a B.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
right.
who knew?
It
Who
looks
knew?
great. Let's
You
see.
know,
I don't know. You probably can you see that?
I can. I
Whoop,
see the red
whoop.
ball. You put it too close. Kind of like I
Yeah.
washed back up a little bit.
I'm getting
And you
washed out here.
disappeared too. Are you a magician?
Look at
You're
that.
here. You're not.
You
You're
didn't know
here.
that
You're not.
about about me.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I bet you know a guy. So,
That's right.
the last name of Donny Lowe, you definitely know a guy. All right.
I like your mug there, by the way, the Bills, your
Oh,
glass
Bills
tumbler.
Mafia, baby, all the
Uh,
way. They hate me
That's
here in
right.
Dallas because of it. And it's funny. Believe it or not, Don, there are 3 establishments in the Dallas area that are Bills backers bar.
Isn't that crazy?
The
I
one is Buffalo Brothers. Those guys are actually from West Seneca, New York. The other one is the Hideaway off the Beltway, which is closer to downtown. Oh my gosh, they get like 300 to 400 people for the games, and it's good. The food's good. And this past year, the one I've been going to is in Frisco because it's so close to the house.
Mhm.
And Mike Moncton is the gentleman that him and his wife Teresa actually started the group. And little by little, it's growing. But what's really cool, Donnie, is you can get selling hot dogs.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm not a hot dog snob, but the people I've taken with me, I'll go with other Bills fans. They're like, "This is the best hot dog ever." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." I mean, they do
Yeah,
the
that was
buffalo
the thing.
pizza, but
Well, I was gonna say when I was, we took the little over a year hiatus. I'll call it living in Florida.
mhm.
Um, we were probably 15 or 20 minutes away from Casa de Pizza in
Ha!
Bradenton, Florida.
I didn't even know that was a thing down there. That's
Oh
funny.
yeah, and at almost everywhere, whenever I went out somewhere, I mean, people from Buffalo were just all
Oh
over the
my
place in
gosh,
Florida.
it is.
Just crazy,
Didn't you ever
crazy,
hear that
crazy.
old joke? There's a nuclear war. A guy starts walking from LA. Another guy starts walking from New York City. They meet in the middle of the country, and they're both from Buffalo.
I would believe that. I'm
And
telling
like
you.
my friends and that like will be out and about, and it's like you'll see somebody with something from Buffalo on them. Like it's usually a Sabres jersey or a Buffalo Bills. 9 times out of 10, it's Buffalo Bills, and we stop each other. Like, hey, I'm from South Buffalo. Where are you from? You know.
Exactly.
So, and after a while, they're like, "Yeah, we're used to it now. We know you're gonna run into somebody here."
I know. I know.
It's just that Buffalo connection is really crazy. It really
Oh,
is.
I know. And our
So, what do you
neighbor
think of the
across the street.
website? It
Oh, I
looks
love
pretty.
it. I love it.
So, did you look at the online shopping section? That's the one that I'm concerned on how people like it, and it's easy to use. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so the solutions and the resources is great. And the shopping, just to request a quote like that so easily right off your
24/7,
phone.
baby.
Yeah, it's amazing what
And
technology
why
can do
wouldn't you
to
want
help
to
you.
talk to fabulous guys like us? But you don't have to
Yeah, that's
on the
true.
website. That's what's cool about it. And
Well,
once
I'll
again,
speak for
it's
myself. I was probably better suited for
www.
radio than for this stuff.
Is there anything you don't like about it?
No, I really like it. I think it's a
I
great
bet you don't
job.
like that you're not involved with it.
Well, maybe that. Maybe that.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying. Well, Donnie, I thank you very much for being on the show. I hope you had a good time.
Oh, I appreciate it. I had a great time and thanks for having me.
What is the temperature back home?
Oh, what is it? It's probably 45, 47. It's 47 right now.
It's freezing here. Let me see what it
Oh,
is.
I can imagine what
Oh, it's
freezing
only
is.
74 right now.
It is
Brr,
cold. It
brr.
is
I
cold.
got to go get a coat.
Yeah,
So,
it's 47 and light rain, unfortunately.
like I've said before in the past, if you like what you heard today, if you liked the way me and Donnie interact and treat people, we're regular guys. If you want to deal with regular people just like you, get a hold of us. What's your email address, Donnie?
dflofaso@gmail.com. dflofaso@gmail.com.
And your cell phone number again?
716-310-7993.
Okay, now you got to do the YouTube thing that I always forget to say.
What is that?
Please like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Click on the link below. Like and subscribe.
Oh, you're a YouTuber now, Donnie. You're an influencer. I mean, you're not
You're
an
the influencer.
insurance influencer like this guy, but I didn't even know that was a thing. And it's not. We invented it. So listen, I hope you have a wonderful day. And everybody out there, from me and Donnie Lowe, stay safe out there. Take care,
Thanks for
everybody.
having me, Ed.
You're welcome.